the first time when us in our class we heard of Kimoja. And then initially the slogan is, I'm fine without drugs.
Yes.
We were basically curious about, okay, I'm fine without drugs. The drugs is we want to know so much about this Kimoja that is talking about extramural activities that women are saying. What I've seen is that they cultivate in us discipline.
Oh, yeah.
Because now I want to be the future Neymar, the future Messi. So I've got to keep myself clean.
When textbooks are closed, the dangerous experimentation of substances are opened. And today, I am not alone. I am with a savvy student, a rockstar teacher, and we are breaking the bars and unmasking substance abuse in schools. Well, welcome back to Pathway Podcast. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you.
Great to be here also.
Yeah, let's introduce ourselves. I'll start with the lady next to me.
Okay, I'm Sinesipho Mzamo, and I'm a grade 12 learner at Kagiso Secondary School.
Okay, shout out to Kagiso.
And I am Raranzu, an educator, Ms. Boqo. I'm a mother, I'm an educator, and a community builder.
Wow.
And it feels nice to be here.
Oh, thank you guys.
For having me.
Right, so let's get started on our icebreakers. Right, are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, come on, give me the energy.
We are here.
So if your life had a soundtrack, what 3 songs would be on it and why? Sinesipho, because you're laughing, let's start with you.
Okay, for me it would be a song by Prince KB, Fetch Your Life, because I'm in matric this year, and that's what I'm doing, fetching my life, going for my goals. And then another song that I would play is Wenzile by Chia Celebration. It's a gospel song.
Yes.
Because I feel like I'm so grateful to be alive.
Yes.
I'm so grateful for life. And the last song I would play is Invaluable. It's also a gospel song by TGC, Twana Gospel Choir. I feel like this year, this season that we've just entered into, it's a season of revival.
Sure.
You understand? So yes, I'm so ready to be revived.
What a deep young lady.
Yes. She's very deep.
She's very deep.
Very
Sure. How about you, ma'am?
Okay, so for me, it's only 2 songs.
Okay.
Number 1 is the goodness of God.
Okay.
I've seen God working in my life, and for me to be sitting here, it's all about His grace.
Sure.
And also the second song will be Too Faithful for God to Fail Me, because He has never disappointed me. So those are 2 songs that I feel good. If there was a movie about me, these are the songs that will be played.
It's like a Tyler Perry movie.
Yes.
It's like an African Tyler Perry movie. So I see where she gets the deepness from, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, so I want us to talk about why we're here today, substances.
Yes.
I want us to speak about your experiences, your peers. What do you think are some of the causes that end up, young people find themselves taking in and experimenting?
The first one that I would talk about is peer pressure. I think it's the most common factor that we've all identified within the school and also within the communities. Peer pressure that, okay, Sinfi, imagine this environment and I want to fit in. And so for me to be able to fit in this particular group, I have to do whatever it is that they do. And so if I don't do it, it means I can't fit in. Yes, I'm not cool. So one of the things that I would talk about is peer pressure.
So how do we help a young person who's struggling with peer pressure?
The first thing I would talk of, Mina, is empowerment. It's very much important for a person to have empowerment in life, because with empowerment, then you can be motivated to be you, to actually be yourself. Because what leads to peer pressure is the failure to be yourself. You understand? So with empowerment sessions, by young people like me, then they're able to know, I'm not wrong for being me. And if I don't fit in this particular group because of how I am or who I am, then it definitely means I don't belong there. And then that's how it should be.
Sure.
Yes.
No, it's quite a really sad one.
Yes.
You know, ma'am, Sinesipho is speaking about peer pressure.
Yes.
And how sometimes people just want to be cool. You know, I just want them to like me.
Yes.
I just want them to see that I can also try, you know.
Yeah.
So I want us to talk about your experience as a teacher.
All right.
You know, you are with these children every single day. You see their challenges. And sometimes you want to say, of course, it's peer pressure. But what are some of the deeper issues that cause this? Is it family structure?
Yes.
Is it, can we get into that?
Yeah. All right. So for me, I've been working with teenagers or youth for 14 or 15 years. Before I became a teacher, I used to work with children in conflict with the law. So I've seen that one of the factors is parent involvement. Most of our parents are not involved in their children's life. So a child will come back from school, the mother doesn't care, parents do not care. Some parents will leave their children in one province, they move to another province, and those kids will be taking care of themselves. So what do you expect them? Child will start experimenting, and the first experiment is experimenting with drugs. So, and also easy access. Yes, for these kids. So they get easy money, so they will buy drugs, and very cheap for that matter. Even our youngsters are selling them in schools. So hence we must be very vigilant when it comes to the kids. So parental involvement and easy access to drugs contribute to the use of substances in most cases.
Sure.
Yes.
So umntwana makafika esikoleni usetholakala ukuthi unama drugs, they are taking in substances. What are some of the disciplinary measures that we are then introducing as a school to say, because there's a problem here, this is how we're going to solve it?
We have a lot of programs in schools, not only in our school, but in many schools. We have Gimoja, we have Westview Clinic, who also comes to help. We also do awarenesses as schools. Every month we make sure that in 1 week we talk about substance abuse. So our children are well aware of this drug. But with that in mind, they still want to experiment. So what we do when we find out that a child is maybe high on drug, we take them to a separate room up until they become sober. So we call in someone such as our discipline team. And if we see that this child needs help, we involve the Westview Clinic, where the child will go for sessions. And also the use of Gimoja Life is very helpful for us in schools.
Sure. How is your experience, like Mem is saying, Gimoja, these substance abuse prevention programs? What has your experience looked like with Gimoja?
So far, Gimoja ngingayibona isebenza when I was in primary, grade 7. Yes. So what was happening in grade 7 is sasi nalanto and that's the high school fever now. High school fever because we are going to high school now.
That's what the problem starts.
Exactly, we're going to high school now. We just want to know how are we going to fit in, must fit in high school and all of that. And I've seen Gimoja play a very huge role in giving us tips, advising us that when you get to high school, this is what you're going to encounter. So it isn't just for any substance abuse, and this is how you can conquer them.
And then also to step in, we used to have learners, 4 or 5 who have referred for rehab. So they went in, fortunately 3, they're still clean for now, 2 relapsed. The reason being the parents' involvement. Remember, when you go for these rehabilitation centers, you need the support of the family. So the 3 are clean because the family is involved. But the 2 we lost them, they even dropped out of school. So Gimoja has been playing its role. People were not aware, or maybe they were not using their services. But Gimoja has been there and helping most of the schools. They also help in referrals to take kids to the rehabilitation centers, as she's saying.
And how has the acceptance of Gimoja looked like, even for you, Sinesipho? Abantwana mabezwa nje ukuthi okay sekunekimoja manje and isikhuluma ngama drugs. What is their general feeling of the program?
usually what experience the first time when us in our class we heard of Kimoja, and then the slogan is I'm fine without drugs.
Yes.
We were basically curious about, okay, I'm fine without drugs. The drugs is paid. We want to know so much about this Kimoja that is talking about drugs, because even as much as we are youth, we are young, but we do see the impact of drugs in our communities.
Yes.
And so when you bring such a program like Ikimoja, Siba curious, and that's okay. How does this work? That's one of the responses I've seen from the learners.
From the learners,
yes.
Sure.
And also, what I love about Ikimoja is when they talk about drugs, it does not become that serious, like it's drugs. There are activities involved.
Yes.
They talk about drugs, but also activities involved. So now they grab the attention of the teenagers.
Sure.
So Kimoja is the best. I don't want to lie. I'm fine without drugs. Yes.
It definitely sounds like a really like fun space.
Yes.
You know, mangicabanga Ikimoja ucabanga ukuthi ufundiswa isikhathi eside uyazi ukuthi okay ngizofika lapha ngijive, you know, reconnect with the people that are there.
Yes.
I want us also to focus on, there are a lot of issues there in high school, and that's not a new thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
We know with the high school, there's of course teenage pregnancy, there's of course bullying, but I want us to look at bullying and to say, how is bullying being even more exasperated with substance abuse?
Yes.
You want to?
Okay. Bullying is a serious issue in schools. Every day we encounter 1 or 2 cases of bullying. It starts very small. That those who are bullying, not using substances, but there are those who use substances to bully other learners. You will see a child in class, maybe a learner in class. They don't write activities, they're taking other learners' work. They don't bring scaffolding, they're taking other learners' scaffolding. It reached a point where this child will even stab other learners. So bullying it's one serious issue in our school, and we are still finding ways on how to deal with it. Because how do you deal with bullying when a child is high on drugs? How do they understand? So they need to be sober. First, they need to be taken for this program. Then we deal with the issue of bullying.
And then one thing I've also noticed in bullying, substance abuse, is that when you use substances, I'll be say some right. So it means even when you bully other kids, when you make them feel the pain, you don't see what wins are in there wrong, because it's no longer you now who's acting. It's these things that you've taken in.
But is that also an excuse, Foot? Because Manja, also we're trying to also run away from the fact that because when you decided to take in substances, now you're making another child's life difficult. How do we unpack that?
And also with the issue of bullying, these kids, I think they learn the behavior from home.
Oh,
They
yes.
learn the behavior from home. You'll find a child witnessing every day the father assaulting the mother, or family members assaulting each other or using hateful words to each other. So they learn this behavior. For them, it becomes normal. It becomes natural to act like that. So that is where the issue of behavior modification comes in. We are working with social workers that are doing that part of modifying the behavior of a child. We will see with this one, they don't know how to behave. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to react. So now, with that, if there's a child who does not know how to react or to act, and also there's substances involved, so it becomes a bomb.
Sure.
So we make use of our social workers and peer-to-peer counseling. We do that.
How effective is that?
It's very effective, because sometimes I may be talking to a child, we are not of the same age, they may not understand. So what we normally do, we take a child who has went through the same situation and now they are good, behaving well, and we put this one and the other child who has a problem of drugs or behavior or bullying. So we see them together And they give each other counseling.
Oh, okay. No, that's really lovely.
Yes.
That is really lovely. I want us to talk about the involvement of everyone coming together. You know, you spoke a lot about how important is that for a young child's life? The community getting involved, the parents getting involved, the social workers getting involved, the teachers getting involved.
Yeah. So there's this saying that says it takes a village to raise a child. That one is very true. But nowadays, people do not care. People do not care. But if we can work together, teachers, parents, community members, our kids won't be struggling much.
No.
Even the issue of drugs won't be this high or much in our communities. And then, Sinesipho, what do you think?
So I feel like you read my mind because it takes a village to raise a child, especially in communities, in the communities that we live, because that's where it starts. I'm a culprit. I'm
dangerous.
So it really is important for us to be united in order to conquer all of this, because remember, let's go back to the party communities. We live in the same community, and we know Gucci, there's this guy and this guy, and they are both selling drugs. Now, as a community, we must take a decision, but we are going to deal with these people because they are hurting our children. And apart from Uba Umdu is hurting your own children, think about the effects of that in the community itself. Because Umdana Kaikala Achata eat drugs already. Uzoba drug and uzohamba ejontshisa into zabantu. Now is affect us, so you can't just sit back and say, no, it's not my kid, it's not my sister, it's not my brother. So we all have to play a part.
No, that's true, because that's where then stigmatization comes to effect.
Yes.
Then it also affects even the parents. So it's just an unending cycle. But I guess Sinesipho, and maybe some of the young people as well, how do you then resist? What makes it easier for you to constantly say, Kimocha, I'm fine?
It's because of the things I've seen. One thing. I'll talk about the personal experience I have of Umama. So my mother, she started the way started misbehaving at a very young age. She started drinking alcohol. Even now, she's still drinking. And I've seen some of the things as in Zaiba. Okay, no, they're not okay. So I don't want to look like to end up looking like her. So one of the things then is to keep myself motivated and resist the substance abuse is that I look at the people who've been involved or who are still involved in drugs. Then I tell myself, well, you know what? I don't want to be like that.
I want to be different.
Exactly. I want to be different.
So that is such a beautiful thing that you're able to do. Yes. I shouldn't have to repeat the same mistakes, you know. Yes. If I realize someone that I love failed in this area, then I need to work 10 times harder to make sure that I don't end up like that. Instead, I become better. I think if you can have young people who think like you, our future is much great. Right, Ma'am, how do we keep kids away? For kids who haven't even started experimenting, how do we make sure that this idea of substances is not right for them?
We keep them busy, ma'am.
Yes.
After school programs, they can go and play soccer. They can be involved in many activities which we don't have in our communities. Although they are there, it's only soccer. And remember that not every child is interested in soccer.
Not every child.
Some kids want to go and write. Some they want to do poetry. So here at school, what we do many activities such as hosting the pageants, Miss Kagiso Secondary.
Oh wow!
We do acting, so we can keep these kids busy. If you don't want them to be involved in,
if you don't want them to get busy with the drugs,
to get busy with the drugs, and also leave the I don't care attitude. That is what our communities are doing.
We are struggling with that one.
The I don't care attitude. This is not my child, so if it is not my child, I'm not involved. So that is also what a contributing factor. You see someone's child smoking drugs, you don't take action, you don't care. That is an I don't care attitude. So that one also we must just break it. Cut it out.
And also with regards to extramural activities that we are saying, what I've seen is that they cultivate in us discipline.
Oh yeah.
Because now I want to be the future Neymar, the future Messi. So I've got to keep myself clean by all means. I want to be the future Miss South Africa, meaning that I have to keep myself clean by all means. And so I know that these ones I should stay away from them. Substances are not okay for me. Yes.
And also there was something that she said about her life experiences with a mother. I also live with an addict.
Sure.
So with addicts, they are unreliable. They don't keep promises, not easy to talk with. So that's very true that drugs are just messing up the whole communities. Because with a person like that, and with a learner like this who has a mother who drinks alcohol, but she's choosing. What about that one who's very weak to say, let me be like my mother, we are fun, what can I do? Yeah. So drugs is a serious issue.
It's a serious issue, and it just goes to show that sometimes, even if your background is quite clean, or you were fortunate enough to have some of the things that other kids were not able to have. Probably your parents were even upstanding citizens. You still find kids that are still getting introduced, that are still experimenting. So it just shows that there's a deeper cause.
Yes.
And we really, really need to get into that and see how we can actually break that cycle. Yes. I want us to break a myth. I remember growing up, right? There was always this idea, crystal meth, mawufika eklasini meds, ngathi uyashesha, ngathi uhlakanipha kakhulu. And sometimes you'd see them doing well, uzucabanga ukuthi orivele lento iyabasiza. Sinesipho, what is your experience, Ben?
No, there's no way.
Ne?
There's no way.
Sure.
I've seen with other classes, other learners, even in my class, there's no way. There's just no way. These people, what they do is, baza family, to class. Baza bayazi ukuthi they've got something overseas. So what they're trying to build is an image that drugs are okay for you, so that they can recruit you. Otherwise, there's no such.
There's no such.
Yes, indeed, there's no such. I remember we used to have a learner from grade 8, excellent, 9, 10. When he reached grade 12, he started experimenting with, unfortunately, with crystal meth. As he said, he did not even finish writing the exam. Number one, he was untidy. He was a good learner, clean every day. But the first sign to say that this child is using drugs, untidiness.
Sure.
The way the boy was wearing uniform, not coming to school every day, bunking classes, always wanting to leave the classroom. So there's no way drugs and books goes together.
There's no way.
Yeah, there's no way. It doesn't work like that. It's just a myth, as you said. And
siyazi ke ukuthi ke noma kuyobhalwa ama exams, or when exams are finished, abantu bathi yes, yokwenza pens down. And you will find that most young people don't consider alcohol as a drug.
They don't.
Why do you think that is?
I feel like it's something that, in our communities, we've got this tendency of normalizing things that are not normal. I don't know why. I don't know why. People think that, okay, just because now alcohol is legalized, it's not a drug. Even if we say illegalized, it is a drug. Why is it a drug? Because it changes the to the negative side. It changes those you don't become normal. You don't become normal. So I think they have that notion to say it's not a drug because it's legal. It's legalized.
True.
Yes.
And also in schools, they bring this juice. I don't know. What I heard is they mix a juice, they mix this alcophilics, they mix a certain type of drug. As you are teaching in class, you will find a child drinking something. You ask yourself, they're changing. They're changing, they're becoming high, their actions and what. So alcohol also is not normal. It's not normal. It's a drug. People must just refrain and abstain and leave that thing. A drug, yeah. And with alcohol, it's easier to experiment with all the drugs. Because when you're a little bit tipsy, you can do anything.
Yes.
It's easier for a person to have sex in front of someone drunk. It's easier for a person to say, I only smoke when I'm drunk. So now this thing, alcohol, is a driving force. It's a key. I mean, just a key to open many doors for the drugs.
Sure, inzima ke le. Inzima kakhulu, especially leyo tshwala.
Yes.
Our societies are dying of alcohol, especially our young people. What support can we provide, even to you, Sinesipho, to you, especially in terms of prevention, but also to the kids that have already, gotten involved? What kind of support can you give to them?
For me, I'll let Mem take that one because she's got experience.
She's got experience. No, her experience must work now.
I know she must work.
Yes, I'm very experienced. Okay, so for me, the support, it must start from our homes. Because with the parents who drinks alcohol, they buy alcohol, bring it home. So it's easier for a child to have access on that. You may think you have bought it, it's for you. Can't even this one, the 9-year-old, is busy drinking. While you are drunk, they're taking a bottle.
Or you're sending them to go and pour for you.
Yes, you are sending them. So in that process of a child pouring, they're also tasting. So now that is the support and prevention. And also teaching our children that alcohol is a no-go area. And it's possible. It's possible. You can go to clubs, have fun, and not drink.
Yes.
Why does having fun and drinking alcohol goes together?
How?
You can go dance, you sing, but not have alcohol. So, ma'am, it's a process, especially in our homes.
I like what you're highlighting because even in our locations and communities, it is not very strange or far-fetched for people to say, as long as opuzela like charity. I mean, I don't mind as long they are just drinking
like charity.
And you find that the child then becomes addicted. Now, this one thing also that you highlighted is that there are not a lot of sometimes role models. There are not a lot of people that are saying, I'm pools and I can go and have fun in clubs. What can be done in terms of social media and the media in general to help push this idea? Yoguti, we can be a kimoja and we are cool.
I'm cool.
For me, with social media, when you talk about media, it's very broad. Very broad. I'm calling TV. Young people, we spend most of our time sitting on shows. Understand? So for me, I feel like shows that have got that promote actually substance abuse, they should just be cancelled. Because you would find a movie that actually if you go to a party, if you go to a nightclub, then it's the right way to go. It's the right way to go. I just won't, but there are a lot of movies like that. So first things first, we cancel those. Because we watch these things and after watching, we want to experiment. We're okay, so before going to varsity, this is what I should do for pens down because it's cool and all of that. First things first, we cancel those shows.
Let's cancel those shows.
Yes.
And also with the issue of role models, with our Black communities, we are working ourselves out of the community. How about we go, we learn, we pass, we graduate, we come back to the very same community that I grew up in, build a nice house, have nice things in that community. In that way, we are building role models. So our children only know Ubras Banban as a role model. Because he's selling drugs, he has a big car, and he's living in a mansion. So those are role models. If you will ask in class, I'm a life orientation teacher. You ask Elena, what do you want to become after passing your grade 12? Elena will tell you this, I don't want to go to the university. I want to be like Bras Banban. He has a lot of money and he's not working. So you see, Bras Banban is portraying that you cannot work, you can work, remain poor, not work and have a lot of money. So that thing, Tina, it must start with them. Don't work yourself out of the community. Work yourself to improve the communities. That is how we get a lot of role models. And also, children must look out to the pastors. We have pastors.
And a pastor's manje.
Yes, we have pastors in communities. We have that woman in that corner who's doing good. We must also look at that. We have teachers as role models. We have soccer players. We have a lot of role models. It's just that this role modeling does not go with money. Remember, kids are attracted to money. So if you are a role model and you don't have money, it means you are not a good role model.
Oh, and that's quite sad.
Yeah, it is.
So how can our schools contribute to a drug-free culture?
A drug-free culture. That is a very difficult one.
Because sometimes you find in schools, sometimes there's shacks there, and kids just use those shacks. They are smoking there. You know, what are some of the things that schools can make sure that their environments are encouraging drug-free lives?
So, with the school, I will try to answer that one. What we focus more on is teaching children in class, giving them content. And remember, we are here for 8 hours, maybe a day. Yeah? So we come, we teach these children. There's no time. That is the truth. We don't make time. We don't really make time to make our schools a drug-free environment. But I wish the department can give us more time, maybe in a week, 2 hours, for us to make awarenesses, invite stakeholders that are very good in dealing with issues of drugs. Because if it is us, I can keep on talking about drugs, and the kids by now, they're so used to umem will say drugs, they no longer take me serious. But if we invite people that will come in and give awarenesses, I think we can have a drug-free
environment.
Yes, environment.
I need you to speak to the mothers out there. I need you to speak to the fathers. I need you to speak to communities.
Yes.
How do we make our world a better place for our young people? Of course, those that have tried drugs, but of course the ones that know nothing. How do we prepare them?
How do we prepare? Yeah. As a mother myself, I'm a mother of 4. Hello.
Hello, mother.
I'm a mother of 4.
Yes.
With kids, they only need love, attention, they need time. They need your time. So mothers, have time with your kids. Teach them, talk to them, lend them your ear. Even if you feel this topic is useless for you, give them time. Make time, do homeworks with them, be there for your children. Fathers, can you stop this thing of coming back drunk home, fighting your wife, fighting everyone? Make your house peaceful. Because if you want your house to be heaven, be an angel. If you want your house to be hell, be a demon. It's going to be hell. So fathers and mothers, let us be there for our children. They need us. Some kids are in drugs because there's no one who's taking care of them. They are there because they really need someone to talk to. And the truth is, a drug can become a friend. Because let's take, I'm very stressed and I smoke drugs. So this drug will make that pain to ease. That is the feeling they want from the parents. So be a friend before the drugs become their friends.
Sure.
And I think also to add on to that, this is one thing that young people were so afraid to say. But I feel like most Yawazali out there, they still have that thing in mind. You are Tina Mama Tina in our times, therefore they are oblivious of some things. So they should stop that mentality. Yes, in your times, this used to happen. All of that. But these are our times now, and things have changed. So it means that they also need to change their mindset, adjust it to Ikasha so that they will be able to also handle us. Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
That's quite
Yeah.
powerful, Sinesipho, yes. And do you know what is Sinesipho, une power engakanani sitting on this platform? There's young people that are looking at you and they're saying, wow, if I can just aspire to be like her, what advice would you give to them?
The advice that I would give to young people, since stating abuse and all of that, is that don't ever be afraid to be yourself. And then secondly, so that's authenticity. Be authentic, be original, be yourself. And then secondly, don't ever doubt yourself. Don't ever doubt your capabilities and your abilities. If somebody else can do it, then it definitely means that you can do it. You can become the person that you want to be. Only if you put your mind to it and then stay the course.
Yeah,
that's all that you need.
Nice, she's powerful.
Are you a child?
Oh, you have lived before. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on the show. I hope that you grow up with this kind of mentality and that you can be a change driver as young as you are. Ma'am, thank you for the contribution that you're making. We need more teachers like you who are saying, I'm going to be there. I'm going to change the trajectory. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today. I do hope that you learned a thing or two from our guests and that you're able to apply that knowledge to your own life. Remember, it's not just about you alone, it's not about your children alone, but it is about the community. It is about a village, and we're all responsible for making sure that that village is the best we have. Well, thank you. My name is Fortunate Sibande. See you next time.